Hi, friends. We're going live right now with an emergency update that's developing in our nation. So I'm going to ask all of you to please help me by tuning in, letting me know that you're here, and then as quickly as possible, hitting the share button. I don't believe that this is yet in the general news cycle, but I believe it will be very, very soon. So I need everybody right now. We're going live with an emergency situation that is happening in our country, in Nashville. I've just gotten off the phone with Israel. So please right now go and hit the share button. And please also sign in and tell me who you are and where you are watching from. Now, I'm trying to monitor comments while we're doing this on my laptop, but I'm not seeing the feed. So I'm going to just wait another moment until we get that linked in. Samuel Manchester, please stay on board because of your legal background. This is going to be vital for you to speak into legally. But there is, my friends, a situation developing in front of our very eyes that is like unto Nazi Germany, and which is something that will redefine our nation, redefine what it means to live in America. And we are going live right now and bringing it to you. So, okay, we now have Facebook, and are we on YouTube? Okay, very good. So we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. You can help me right now, please, by very quickly signing in. Tell me where you're watching from and hit the share button. Please, especially right now, if you can get on the phone, I'm going to wait another 30 seconds. Get on the phone, call people to tune in, especially anyone who lives in Tennessee. Please, anyone who lives in Tennessee, we need to alert folks in Tennessee, surrounding states, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, as many as possible with what is happening. We will go live. We'll go with the information here in just a moment. Still struggling with our Facebook feed. So I'm going to give this over here to our producer, and they're going to help me get that up, please. It is a dark day for America, but there is still hope. We can still turn this around, but we are only going to turn this around if the church wakes up and gets active and gets loud immediately. So please do so. I've just hung up the phone with Israel. And all right, so good. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have YouTube as well. YouTube is with us. All right, very good. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the release that was just sent out. I'm going to read it as it is, and then we're going to discuss. But please listen to this terrifying title of this press release and understand that the future of our nation, the future of liberty and freedom and what it means to be an American is at stake with what's happening in Nashville right now. Daniel, please text our Nashville friends and have them tune in right now, please. Here we go. Pro-Hamas thugs force Nashville hotel to cancel pro-Israel event. Now, I want you to listen carefully to what has happened in real time. This happened late Friday afternoon. Very interesting timing. They did it when it was too late in the day at the end of the week for anyone to do anything. Listen to what's happened. Last week, pro-Hamas thugs began calling the Sonesta Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. This is the Sonesta Airport Hotel. There's 3 locations. It's the Airport Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. Pro-Hamas thugs began calling the hotel threatening the hotel with violence if they did not cancel their contract with Hayovel. Hayovel is a Tennessee-based Christian ministry that has a base in Israel that was coming back and hosting a pro-Israel conference in Nashville. Thank you, Jonathan Landis, for tuning in. Please share this. The Israel Summit is scheduled for May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Now, right now, I want to tell you, I'm going. I don't care if we meet in a parking lot. I don't care if we stop traffic in the middle of the interstate. I'm going. I'm getting on a plane and I'm going. May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I want to invite you to join me there. The Israel Summit was scheduled as a peaceful gathering intending to educate Christians on fighting anti-Semitism and their connection to the Holy Land. On May the 10th, after speaking with the local police, the hotel leadership contacted Hayovel, notifying them that they were canceling their contract. This was a signed legal contract that the hotel, days before the event, with over 400 people pre-registered, canceled the contract, notifying them the contract was canceled because the police were concerned that the hotel, their guests, other local businesses, and attendees to the summit would be in physical danger due to the nature of the calls and messages that had been received from the pro-Hamas supporters. Yair Levy has just tuned in on Facebook. Yair, I want to bring you live with us. He's on Instagram. Figure out a way to reach out to Yair. We're going to get you on Facebook, Yair, and I want you to come live with me on Facebook. So 10 days, I want you to understand this. Peaceful Christians have signed a legal contract with the hotel to gather in a private meeting in a privately rented space, and pro-Hamas terrorist sympathizers began calling the hotel, threatening with violence, and the police in America said, "We can't keep you safe. You're going to have to cancel this contract." Now, I don't know the exact details. I am reading from this press release. If there are details that are incorrect, we will get the clarity on, but this is what I am reading from. This is now freedom of our right, our constitutional right to assembly, our constitutional right to free speech, our constitutional right to be guarded by our law enforcement officials, our constitutional right for religious freedom. All of this is being canceled because thugs, Hamas thugs, are speaking out and denying our rights as Americans to gather. If this is happening in Nashville, Tennessee, what is the future of America? Nashville pastors, Nashville Christian music artists, I want you right now to forward this to every Nashville pastor you know. I want you to tag every Nashville Christian celebrity music artist you know. If this is happening in Nashville, Tennessee, if Hamas is able to cancel, pro-Hamas sympathizers are able to cancel private, legally binding contracts because of their pressure in America, in the Bible Belt, what future is there for our nation? Now, I've just hung up the phone with How did they find out about the meeting at the hotel? The event was advertised. Yeah, send your questions in. The event was advertised on social media. It was an open public event. There was nothing secretive about the event. It was open to the public. My dear friend Yair Levy, who we're trying to get on to Facebook right now, was coming to sing at the event. And they learned about this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at war. Ladies and gentlemen, the first sign of war on American soil is not the first dead body. It's not the first gunshots that are fired. It is the propaganda war that begins and then leads to this kind of illegal, unconstitutional discrimination. This is a violation of civil rights. Your civil rights, listen to me. This should terrify every peaceful Islamic American, every peaceful Muslim American, every peaceful Hindu American, every peaceful Christian American, every peaceful Jewish American, every peaceful agnostic or atheist American. This is about a violation of the Constitution of the United States. This is about the Sonesta Hotel. And we're going to get you. We're going to go live to Israel in just a moment. Folks, I need you to get loud right now. Folks, listen to me. I need you to right now tag people, share, get on the phone. I need Fox News on this within 12 hours. I need America talking about this right now. We are crossing over into a place from which there will be no return. It is one thing for ignorant, deceived American university students to demonstrate on their university campuses. It is a completely different issue for the Sonesta Hotel. And by tomorrow, we're going to get you their phone number. For the Sonesta Hotel, the airport location, to cancel this contract. Now, and again, this is breaking news, so I don't know the full story. But if they've done this because the police told them, then we need to find out the name of the police captain who is not doing their job. And we need to call Congress. And I'm going to start putting in, I want you to get this number. Do we have Israel? We're going live to Israel in just a moment. We're going live to Israel in just a moment. The congressman, I want you to call the congressman stay online. How can they do that? Just stay on, go on your laptop, do it, whatever it is. Here's the congressman. I want 100 of you to call the congressman right now. Andy Ogles, put it in the chats, please. 931-777-2140. 931-777-2140. Congressman Andy Ogles, and tell him that the Justice Department has got to get involved because American civil rights are at jeopardy here. Americans have the rule of law. You cannot cancel a contract because thugs are threatening you. That is for the FBI to investigate, or the CIA. You cannot not guarantee Americans the right of peaceful assembly, freedom of worship, freedom of travel. You have people coming in from other states. This is now an interstate issue. This becomes a federal issue. This is a line, listen to me, this is a line we must not back down from. If this is accurate, and I have no reason to believe that it is not, if this is accurate, history will mark what happens with this day and this event. We're going to go live right now to Jerusalem, to Yair Levy. Go ahead and bring him on. Will he go here? I'll see him on here. Yeah, we're going live right now. There he is. There's Yair Levy. Now, Instagram, you can't see him, so I'm going to turn you around. Let me do this and see if this works. There we go. My dear friend Yair Levy, we were just together, you and I, in Nashville a few months ago for NRB. You came, you sang some beautiful songs. You spoke about peace. You spoke about the fact that Israel desires to live in peace with its Palestinian neighbors, with its Arab neighbors, and that we have to pray for an end to this war. We have to pray for an end of the evil of Hamas, who are rapists, butchers. And you said to me, you said, Bishop, I want to come back to Nashville because Americans have such warm hearts, and I want to spread a message of peace and love and let people see the true heart of Israelis. And we could not have believed that this would take place. Yair, you were supposed to be you are going to give your concert in Nashville, no matter what. We don't know where we're going to be. But Yair, speak to us. Tell us what is happening and how do you feel right now?
Well, but first, thank you so much. Do you hear me well?
We hear you.
Okay. So thank you so much for doing this first. I know that I don't need to thank you because it's in your heart, but I do want to thank you. Yeah, as you said, we met in Nashville, and I felt such a big hug from the community in the U.S. in the last few years, with my music, but also with all the things that's happening in Israel from October 7th, of course. Um, and yeah, that's true. We spoke about how to bring peace, and we said that the way to bring peace is first with the truth. That this is about what the conference is about, to bring the truth, to show people that when you speak about Judah and Samaria, and when you speak about places in Israel, you need to understand that like Israel is so small, and it's everything like you read it in the Bible, and it's like so. This is like the first goal, and second, for me, it was important to bring the melodies of Jerusalem. Like I bring like ancient melodies from Jerusalem that like spread all over the world, but it may be like melodies for 1,000 years. So I believe that with this energy, the best way to bring people together. So it's meant to be like such a beautiful conference with a good vibe, and that's what we plan to do. As
Now,
you said,
Yair, I'm gonna interrupt you because we have a lot of people just joining in. If you have just joined in, what is happening? Here's the headline: Pro-Hamas thugs force Nashville hotel to cancel pro-Israel event. And what has happened is that the Sonesta Airport Hotel has canceled a legally binding contract because pro-Hamas thugs, terrorist sympathizers with rapists and baby butchers, have pressured the hotel to not allow this man, Yair, to sing his worship songs, the Tehillim, the Psalms of David. This is a violation of the Constitution of the United States. This is a red line in the sand. And I want you right now to call Congressman Andy Ogles at 931-7140. I'm going to give you another phone number right now. Please get it into the chat. I want everyone right now, keep listening, borrow your spouse's cell phone, do whatever you have to do. I want you to call Governor Bill Lee, 615-741-2001. 615-741-2001. And say, Governor Bill Lee, the Israel event must be allowed. Is that what it was called? It was called the Israel Summit. The Israel Summit, to be held at the Airport Sonesta Hotel, must continue. Yair Levy must be able to sing his songs. If the police need to get support, then bring on more support for the police or get the federal government involved. This is an interstate issue, but we will not back down in America to terrorist thugs. Yes, this is the Yair Levy concert. Yair, tell us, how did you feel when you got the report that this had been canceled?
I couldn't believe that this is true because I think that when you get threats, the best thing to do is to make sure that those people will get to jail. You know, this is like the most important thing, not to cancel the event, because if you start canceling events because you can't deal with those people, eventually you want to silence our message, and we can't allow this thing to happen. And actually, for me, you know, I live in Israel, so I can tell like we're already in a war. So I know that people want to silence us, but I didn't know that it's gonna be in Nashville. I was amazed by the fact that in Nashville they afraid to act against those people, and what they are doing is to trying to silence people that coming peacefully and organize peacefully something with a legal insurance. Like it's all was legal. So I said to my audience, I just posted this yesterday to my Instagram, to everywhere, that I'm gonna be there. As you said, I'm gonna come with my band, with my guitar. If I'm not gonna have a
And
venue.
brother, I'm coming with you. I want everyone to know I'm getting on the plane. I'm coming down May 20th, 21st, 22nd. We're coming to Nashville. I want to challenge everyone. Get off work, especially you live in Tennessee, you live in Kentucky, you live in Alabama. I want you to get to Nashville, stand with Yair, stand with, there were about 400 people pre-registered. I want to believe God that we will have 4,000 people show up. 4,000 show up. Rodland Park is on with us. Rodland, one of the great, great watchmen on the wall, one of the great intercessors who has brought this message all over the world. Janice Kemp from Fort Myers, Florida. Janice, I need you to get this word to Pastor Gasper. Folks, I need you to get on the phone with Governor Bill Lee, 615-741-2001, and say, Governor, you have a responsibility. If the police can't do the job, you call out the state guard. You call out the reserve guard for the state. We will not back down in light of Hamas threats. And you heard Yair say that you expect this kind of battle in the Middle East. You expect this kind of propaganda from Hamas, but in Nashville, Tennessee. So, folks, I need you to reach out to Michael W. Smith. I need you to reach out to pastors across Nashville. I need you to reach out to those in the music community, those in leadership in the Nashville area. We have got to get loud. This is precisely the type of thing that was happening in the months, not the decades, not the years, the months before Hitler rose to power. And we are in a moment, if we do not mobilize immediately, cancel what you're doing, stop what's going on, and we must get all hands on deck. Yes, Daystar Television Network, please. Let's call CBN. Please get a hold of Jay Sekulow at the American Center for Law and Justice. I need somebody to reach out to Lance Wallnow. Please reach out to Lance Wallnow. I need us to reach out to Chuck Pierce. We need to get in touch with the leaders of this nation. This cannot happen on our watch. Yair, give us your thoughts.
I feel that the best answer for this is to bring, as you said, instead of 400 or 600, is 4,000 or 6,000 people, even if we are going to stand in the middle of the park in Nashville, we will stand there and we will show them that they can silence us. Because, as you said, it's all started from a small. It's not small, but like it's like a steps. They will cancel this and another one, and we will just if we will if we will keep silent and everyone will keep back everyone will back to their work and back to their coffee and their things. I think this is dangerous. This is super dangerous, and this is exactly what you see, by the
De
way, in the
Havilland
Middle East.
Ford, I see you on Instagram. De Havilland, I need your help on this. I need you and Will Ford. I need you. In fact, De Havilland, if you can come on with me live, text one of my office is going to text you right now, De Havilland, if you can come on live, if Will can come on live. You can help us, De Havilland, please. I know we just had the survivors on the Daystar program. Lisa Crow, we love you and John. You've been a part of this since the very beginning. Beloved, if you're just tuning in, unbelievably, incomprehensibly, in America, pro-Hamas thugs force Nashville hotel to cancel pro-Israel event. The Sonesta Airport Hotel had a legally binding contract with the Israel Summit sponsored by HaYovel, which Yair, we all can see how dangerous and threatening you look. If I've ever seen a dangerous, threatening, I'm being sarcastic, Yair. You're the most peaceful, kind, gentle-hearted person that I know. You wanted to come. You wanted to just play your guitar and sing the Psalms and pray for peace and pray for the end of evil. And if you're just tuning in right now, I need you, number one, sign in. Please get us your name and where you're watching from. And then I need you to hit the share button quickly. Quickly, hit the share button. That hotel came under deluge of threats from pro-Hamas sympathizers in Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of the Bible Belt, and they canceled their legally binding contract with the Israel Summit because they said that the police said that they could not guarantee their safety. Now, I was not involved in these conversations or these discussions. I am going off of what I'm reading on this press release and phone conversations I've had. However, they did this at the very end of the day on Friday when nobody was able to make phone calls to verify, where nobody could take any legal recourse. So we will know more tomorrow morning. And I expect that by tomorrow morning, this is going to be in the mainstream American press.
By the
But
way,
who could
Robert,
have believed that this would happen?
by the way,
Yair,
Robert, I have
go
to
for
say
it,
that
Yair.
it's also like a day before the Memorial Day. Like today is the Memorial Day in Israel. Tomorrow it's the Independence Day. Like also in Israel, when we try to go into media, so we need to wait till Tuesday night. And just then we could release. I'm gonna interview also in the Israeli news, mainstream news, but it's gonna be only on Tuesday, so you don't have a lot of time to put a pressure also from the Israel government. Everyone is like now. I also just back from friends of mine that just passed away, families of friends of mine that just died in the war. It's like a crazy day now in Israel. So I think like it's like it was a very special timing to do it, as you said. Like
Yeah.
we
A very
don't have time.
calculated time, a
Yeah.
very calculated, cunning time where you were coming Friday night in America, the weekend is closed, Shabbat in Israel, and then the not the holiday, the day of commemoration for the dead soldiers, not a holiday, a memorial day for the dead soldiers.
And that,
So everything was
and
shut
then
down.
and then
So
Independence Day, and then you have
yeah,
like 3 days. So that's why we need the help of people here, because we don't have time. Like if things won't be solved tomorrow, and if we will not show that we're coming a lot of people to Nashville to show them that we are strong. So I think it will be we need a miracle here, and we need the good people to try to help here.
We need a miracle, and I need everyone listening to me right now. You are now enlisted, okay? Right now, link this on your Instagram pages, your Facebook pages, your YouTube pages. Also, please, everyone, Eagles Wings has started doing much more on YouTube. We never did YouTube before. We were on Instagram and Facebook, but now you go to YouTube. They search Robert Stearns, but there's two accounts. One is a music account. Don't sign up for that one. Make sure you're getting the current events, Robert Stearns accounts. Hit the notifications, the subscribe on YouTube. Folks, this is all hands on deck. We need everybody loud, strong, clear. This, and we love Israel. We love Yair. We love the Jewish people. This is not about Israel. This is not about Jews. This is about the West versus tyrannical, brutal, horrific murderers. That's what this is about. This is about baby killers and rapists versus people who embrace the rule of law, embrace freedom of the press, freedom of religion, all of the values that we hold close and dear to our hearts. And so I want to ask you today, as never before, to get loud. Now, Pastor Juan Rivera, I believe, is with us. Is he ready to come on? All right, we're going to see if we can get Pastor Juan Rivera on in just a moment. Yair Levy, stand by. But folks, ladies and gentlemen, I need you. All right, here's the next number that's just come in. Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator Marsha Blackburn. She's the wonderful senator of the state of Tennessee. 629 800 6600. That is 629 800 6600. I'd like you right now, folks, in real time, call these numbers and say, I'm an American citizen. I am in support of the Israel summit at the Sonesta Airport Hotel in Nashville, and I expect the Nashville police to provide protection for the attendees, and I expect the hotel to uphold their contract. Again, if I have any of these details incorrect, we will announce tomorrow. I'm going off of the limited information that I have, but I have no reason to believe that anything I've been told is inaccurate.
Robert, I
And
have
so
to say that
yeah.
that it's not. People need to understand that it's not a Jewish event, like, because we have a lot of fight now against Jewish people, a lot of threats against Jewish people now in the U.S. But what's scary here is that this is a Christian event. Like, it's a educational event for Christians that Christian people
Yair, what
organize.
you are saying right now is so important. I want you to repeat this. This is so important because, folks, Yair was coming to attend and sing, but the 400 registrants were not Jews. This
True.
was not a Jewish event. So we're now going from the place of Hamas. There were, by the way, 3 bomb threats last week at synagogues in Manhattan, 3 separate bomb threats in synagogues. And now Yair is pointing out something very, very important. Yair, I want you to talk about this. Now we have pro-Hamas shutting down Christian events, Christian private, legally binding contract events. Yair, explain why this is so important.
It's important because, of course, I'm Jewish, but the fact that I'm coming to this event is very unique because this event is organized by Christian people. That is like an educational event to explain to Christian people what is happening in Israel, in the promised land right now. But this is like a Christian event, and all the people, like 99% of the people that coming to this event are Christians. It means that this is very important to them to make sure that we are not coming together, This is first. And second, because this is like a different level. They can't say now it's about apartheid. They can't say now it's about genocide. It's about just to bring the Bible truth from Jerusalem, from Israel to Nashville. What is so scary by this? Where is the conflict here? But we know
Right.
that
This,
this is a
this is
conflict.
not precisely. This is literally the shutting down of free speech, and this is terrifying. I believe. Do we have Pastor Juan with us? Is he able to come on with us? Okay, we're going to go live right now with Pastor Juan Rivera from Youngstown, Ohio. He's going to join us. They're going to bring him in. If you are just tuning in, let's bring in Pastor Juan. If you are just tuning in, number one, please sign in your name. Tell us who you are and where you're watching from, and hit the share button. If you've just tuned in, this is a dark day in America. This is a dark day in American history. And they did it very cunningly, very craftily. They did it late Friday afternoon. If you've just tuned in right now, pro-Hamas thugs force Nashville hotel to cancel pro-Israel event. So a ministry, a Christian ministry who's from Tennessee called Hayovel, they were hosting an Israel event. The event was not about the war. It was not a war statement. It wasn't any of that. It was to educate against anti-Semitism, to call for the release of the hostages. They had a contract with the Sonesta Airport Hotel. 400 people were confirmed for this event. And 9 days before the event, Hamas sympathizers, those who sympathize with rape, with torture, with beheading, they began pressuring the hotel to cancel the event. And the hotel, 9 days before the event, called the organizers and said, the police say that we can't protect you, and so we're canceling your contract. Pastor Juan Rivera, what kind of America are we living in if we no longer are guaranteed our constitutional right of the rule of law? We will cancel legally binding contracts when Hamas says we should cancel them. We're no longer guaranteed freedom of assembly because Hamas sympathizers are pressuring. We're no longer guaranteed religious freedom because this was a religious event. And we're no longer guaranteed freedom of speech. What kind of America, Pastor Juan, are we moving into if we back down in light of this Nashville situation?
Well, Robert, it looks more like the 1940s Germany versus America in the 1920s, in the 2020s, I should say. It's not the America that I grew up in and the America that I know, the America that so many, especially Hispanic immigrants, left countries where totalitarianism and the ability to be able to speak freely and so it's a very, very dark day for America when our number one constitutional right, freedom of speech, is under attack. It's a dark day, and so this is the hour. Really, we've got to stand against this, and we've got to stand up for this. I mean, I'll open up our church. We'll host that conference. We'll do it once a month. And no one's going to shut that down. I tell you that much. But it is not the America. It's not the America that we know, and it's not the America that we want to hand over to our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. But it's a dark day in America.
And Pastor Juan, as noble and as appreciated as that sentiment is, I'll open my church, and that's a beautiful sentiment. And thank you for sharing that. That's courageous. But in a sense, that is what they want us to think, right? They want us to think, okay, we're going to push you back first out of the public square. We're going to remove you from the universities. Then we're going to remove you from the hotels. We're going to remove you from the conference centers. And little by little by little, this is what takes place. See if we can get Pastor Stephen Martin on. Yeah. Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin. I see you online, Pastor Martin. I want to bring you on if we can. So Pastor Juan, I'm 1,000. That's a courageous statement. And thank you. But the point is what you just said. We cannot back down.
That's right.
Because this is a moment that cannot be silenced. Thank you. Pastor Jonathan Landis just got word to Michael W. Smith through a close mutual friend. And folks, yes, everybody. Folks, if you've just everything is blowing up here. We're on 3 different social media platforms. Folks, this is a dark day in America. They did it at the end of the day on Friday. Why? We were heading into the weekend, so there was no legal recourse. It was Shabbat for the Jews, for the Israelis in Israel. And then tomorrow in Israel, or today and tomorrow, is the Israel Memorial Day for the fallen soldiers. So everything is closed. And so they were very cunning in how they timed this. Now, Pastor Juan, you are someone, I have seen you do this over and over again. I admire this in you, Pastor Juan. You always show up. I have seen you get on airplanes. I've seen you drive. You would get in your car, you'd drive for 5 hours for a 2-hour meeting if it was important to the kingdom of God. And so our appeal to everyone right now, we need everybody to get to Nashville. So I need everybody right now. If you have a friend, a Christian, a loved one, a pastor who lives within 500 miles of Nashville, they need to be there May 2020, 2021, and 22. I bought my tickets yesterday. I'm getting on a plane. I'm coming down. And we were going to have 400. I'm believing for 4,000 because there is power in unity and power in numbers. Pastor Juan, and then we're going to go to Pastor Stephen Martin in a moment. Pastor Juan, how important is it for Christians to physically, we love to pray. We love to stay in our churches and pray. How important is it for us to actually show up right now?
This is the moment. Robert, you've been saying we are in a Bonhoeffer moment. And listen, we are. If you've ever wondered how you would have responded in the late 1930s, early 1940s Germany, you do not have to wonder. You are responding now how you would have responded then. I mean, it's whatever you're doing now is what you would have been doing then. And so now is the moment. All of these moments, I'm telling you, we're going to look back in a generation or two and say these moments were historic. And we're not doing it because it's going to be historic. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do. But when my grandkids look back, my great-grandkids look back and say, wow, I never knew this happened in Nashville. Papa, where were you? I want to be able to say, like, I was on the right side of history. And so these are historical moments that we're living in. And Bishop, I'm going to be looking at my calendar. It's the first time I'm hearing of it, but I'm going to be looking at my calendar. And like you said, if we're living in such an important moment, and everything that we can do to be there, it really matters. And so, let's do all that we can.
Folks, it's a moment to absolutely show up. Now, I love our little Christian bubble. I love our little Christian Facebook groups and our little glory bubbles and all that. But folks, it is time. In fact, right now, can they still go to Eagles Wings Facebook and download the I Stand With Israel profile page? I want you to get that as your profile page right now. Your whatever that's called. What do they call that? Your profile picture. It's so absolutely urgent. We have another, if you've just tuned in, folks, in Nashville, Tennessee, pro-Hamas bullies, pro-Hamas thugs, those who stand with rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers. The Sonesta Airport Hotel has bowed their knee to the threats of Hamas. Now, I don't know all the details, but apparently the police department said that they could not protect them. Well, I'm sorry, but that's your job. And so if you couldn't, it's your job to call out the state guard. And then if you can't do it at that level, it's your job to call in federal authorities, because the freedom of peaceful assembly is absolutely guaranteed. And somebody tell me why these college students can gather day after day after day after day for weeks, and they are protected in gathering together, and these 400 Christians have their contract canceled. They were gathering legally. These university students, many of them are trespassing, not gathering legally. Not all are trespassing, but many are outsiders coming onto the campuses. So this is a Rubicon moment. We are crossing into another reality. We're trying to bring on Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin. Pastor Stephen Martin, if you're there, we're trying to get you on here right now. See, Bernadette Huey, God bless you. He's right here. Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin, text him. Okay, there what? All right, he's going to get on in a moment. Folks, you need to do what Bernadette Huey just did. She said, I just called the governor's office and sent an email to his office. So Amy and other people, please put this in. Here's the Congressman Andy Ogles, Ogles, phone number 931-777-2140. Here's what I want to do in the next 5 minutes while we're on. I want to see how many people will match what Bernadette just did. Make one phone call. Choose one. That's the Congressman, Andy Ogles, 931-777-2140. Call, leave a message. Say, I have heard that the Israel summit is threatening to be canceled at the Sonesta Hotel. I am in support of the Israel summit. The Israel summit must go on. Call Governor Bill Lee, 615-741-2001. Governor Bill Lee, you have a job to do. It's to protect the citizens of Tennessee and their constitutional gathering. And so protect our constitutional rights. Sorry, I'm reading 3 screens at once, everybody. And Senator Marsha Blackburn, 629-800-6600. Who will be the next person to come online and say, I've done it, I've called? I'm looking for 15 of you right now to come online and say, yep, I've done it. I'm watching, but I got on another phone or I went to my laptop. I've called. I've made the call. Are we going now to, thank you, Susan Corbin. God bless you, Susan. We're going in just a minute to Pastor Stephen Martin to get him online. Yair and Pastor Juan, who would have thought that we would be in these days? Yair, what was it like for you when you got that message a few 24 hours ago, 36 hours ago, that this had been canceled? I mean, what was that like for you?
For me, it was so surprising because first I know Nashville so good. I'm performing there a lot in the last 2 years. So I have to say that it's like a very friendly, and in Nashville there are like such a good people in Nashville. So for me it was very surprising. It's not like LA or places that we know that there is like a big conflict over there. So for me it was surprising. I have to say it just reminded me. I'm going to say something hard, but last week not a lot of people talking about it, but a church in Europe, I think it was Spain. I don't want to. In Europe, burned down by pro-Hamas protesters, and it was a church. It wasn't a synagogue. So when they told me this, I just said, "All right, this is starting in America. This is what I felt, you know." So America is not like Europe yet, but I'm praying that what you are doing here will wake up the people, will show them that they need to stop it before it's coming to a place when these pro-Hamas protesters starting to threats on Christian people, because it's a Christian, again, it's a Christian event. It's not a Jewish event. I am Jewish. I was invited to this event, but this is a Christian event. All the people that was invited are Christian. The people that organized it were Christians. I don't know.
Absolutely. And I'm getting all kinds of messages. The nation is waking up, folks. This is happening in real time. Pastor Juan Rivera, an amazing brother from Youngstown, Ohio. Pastor Juan, we're going to cycle you off so that we can bring in Pastor Stephen
Absolutely.
Martin, but I want you to take a last word and give an exhortation. Pastor Juan Rivera, you're one of the courageous pastors standing in clear leadership in this nation. Send a final message to us right now before we say goodbye to you.
Yeah, let's not miss this moment. Let's stand courageously. This is the hour where we do it. Let's understand that every time light stands next to darkness, the light always wins. It's from the very beginning. In the beginning, when darkness covered the earth, the very first words of Creator God was, "Let there be light." And so we're speaking that into this situation, into this moment in history. We're just believing with God, let there be light. And light needs to stand, light needs to shine, light needs to do what it does best. And that is invade the darkness. And so this is our moment right now. And Bishop, thank you for being such a bright light in our generation, in this moment. And we're so thankful.
Thank you, Pastor Juan. And we will be in touch as we continue, Pastor Juan and I and others, to work to rally pastors in this nation. We're going to be asking your pastors to get involved in this Bonhoeffer moment that we're calling forth a nexus of pastors who will stand against this evil. Pastor Juan is helping lead this charge, and we are so, so grateful. Pastor Juan, we'll let you cycle off.
All right.
Folks, I want you to
You,
follow
Pastor.
what Amy Cummins is doing. She's tagging these people. Now, I don't know how that works, but in tagging them, it's getting onto their feed. So please tag everyone in as many people as you can and get them onto their feed. Now go ahead and bring in Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin. But I want to say, whatever that noise is, let's work on that. I want to say that Hugh Nemitz just left a message with Governor Lee. Amanda Grace called the governor. Rodland Park called the governor. Yes, Hugh, can you help us get in touch with Patricia Heaton? Please help us with that. Others, if you're calling the governors, yes, we need the contact number again. So I need everybody on all three platforms, please, to get the numbers out for the governor and for, let's focus on these three: the governor, Congressman Ogles, and Senator Blackburn. The governor, Congressman Andy Ogles, and Senator Blackburn. I hope Connie and Chris are on. Connie and Chris, if you're on, please let you know. We've got these phone numbers pinned on there, but please try to make sure Connie and Chris are on. Somebody for me, please. Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin, one of the great emerging pastors in our nation. He pastors in Texas, in between, I think it's between Houston and Austin. He pastors in Harker Heights, Texas, near Fort Hood. He is one of the clearest thinking, strongest voices right now in our nation, confronting, brothers and sisters, what is principalities and powers. We are not dealing with low-level demons here. We are dealing with principalities and powers, darkness that is wanting to cloud itself in over our nation, over our generation, and truth must speak out against the lies. And Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin is doing that. You need to follow him on all of his social media. He's one of the great courageous pastors in America. Pastor Stephen Martin, we have just found out that pro-Hamas thugs have forced the Sonesta Airport Nashville Hotel to cancel a legally binding contract, violating the rule of law. Contracts are legal, they're binding, violating the guarantee of the Constitution to the right of assembly, guaranteeing our freedom of speech, and guaranteeing our free exercise of religion. So Nashville has to make a decision. Will Nashville stand? Nashville, what are you going to do? I want you right now, whoever you are, forward this to anybody who lives in Nashville or 100 miles around. Nashville, you've talked the big talk. Nashville, you've talked the big talk. You've been the center of gospel music. You've been the center of Christian culture. What are you going to do? Because the rubber is meeting the road. This is an hour for you to make a decision, Nashville. How are you going to stand at this moment in history when the American Constitution and the American way of life is being threatened by pro-Hamas thugs? Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin, what say you?
Well, the truth is, Bishop, it's a vacuum. And for so long, we've had the luxury as Christians to separate our politics from our faith. There is no separation in Scripture. God's sovereign over all of it. He's Lord of all of it, or he's Lord of none of it. And the truth of the matter is, pastors need to step into the gap. They need to encourage their people, give them a voice. I agree with you. It's crazy. Nashville's surrounded. There's believers everywhere in Nashville. And yet, every time there's pushback, there's silence. And the truth is, every time they push, we need to push back harder. I'm not suggesting we're as militant or as mean-spirited as those people are, but I will tell you our voice needs to be heard. And that's really the issue. The issue is just giving voice to God's people in the public square.
100%. I want to say, Katie Zora, thank you. Jamie Lynn Fusco, thank you. Marge Roxbury, thank you. You're following that model that Amy Cummins is setting for us by blowing this up and tagging things. So folks, the more you can tag, the more you can pin, the more you can help me get loud with this, the better. It is crucial right now. I think by end of day Monday, the nation needs to be talking about this. By Monday at 5 o'clock, the nation needs to understand that Nashville is ground zero for the ideological battle of the future of America. We started out bowing to political correctness, and now we're about to bow to threats from Hamas. That is the reality that happens when you don't take a strong stand of courage. I want to invite each and every one of you to join me and Yair in Nashville. We're going no matter what. May 20, 21, 22, Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to be there. If it has to be, we're going to go to the steps of the Capitol. We're going to gather in a public park. They were 400 were confirmed. We're believing for 4,000 to show up or more, because this is a rallying point for our nation. I need you to hit the share button. I need you to get loud right now. Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin, you are a student of history. You are a student of trends. This looks eerily similar to the late 1930s in Germany. Speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Eric Metaxas wrote a great book called Bonhoeffer. I would encourage every single believer to read it in its entirety. It's big and thick, so if you want to listen to it on double speed. But we are in that moment. We're in that moment where we have a window. There's a window where we can find our voice or lose it, and that's just the truth. And, leaders lead. Most people are sheep, and when you study sheep, they follow whoever's leading. And the reality is we just don't have the luxury of sitting back and allowing this to happen anymore. And it's interesting because as you look at history, it always repeats itself. The progressives would like to tell us it's this line to utopia. That's not true. It's actually seasons, and it's very cyclical. And we're in that last cycle where we've got to step up and use our voice, empowered by the word of God. I mean, in the beginning was the word. Our Constitution was founded on rights given by God. Unlike any other nation, second to Mount Sinai coming down, we're a constitutional republic, and we're built on rights that were given to us by God, and we've got to exercise them. And our founders knew this. If we didn't regularly exercise them, we would lose them. And that's kind of where we are. We need to find our voice, step into the breach. I heard a friend of mine says this regularly. When you're kind to the cruel, you'll be cruel to the kind. That sums up this issue perfectly. We're kind to the cruel, and they're turning it back. And we've got to go back to justice. I don't mean social justice. I don't mean any of this other, anything you put in front of justice, it ceases to be justice. There's biblical justice, right and wrong. This is a very, very simple issue of free speech. This is a simple issue of contract law. And we just have to step in. And I would encourage any attorneys on here that would like to step in and
Very
help
good.
adjudicate this. I would go for it. This is probably one of the best pro bono cases you could ever take. This is illegal. They can't do it. And until you push back our justice system, you sit back and you don't challenge it. It's the same with the Johnson Amendment, which terrifies pastors all over America. It's the most unconstitutional amendment, saying we're going to lose our 501c. It has never been challenged because they know the moment that it's challenged, it's going to be overruled. And the shade of that amendment has scared a lot of pastors. You know, we just want to break the law while people all around us are breaking the law. We have to stand in the breach, speak for the people who don't speak for themselves, and do our job. That's the truth. The pastors just need to do their job. Open their mouth, lead people in biblical truth, let the Holy Spirit move, and we'll find solution. But it's not, here's the thing. We want peace without conflict. That's not possible. That's not biblical. There's going to be conflict. And I don't mean we have to go to the streets and act a fool like all those people, break laws or any of that. Within our system, we can exercise our right. And I promise you, there are more with us than against us. But we've got to elevate our voice. If they're loud, we got to step in the gap and show up. Most of us just don't show up. We've got to show up. So I love your advice. I say, let's take this 400-person event that they didn't think it was going to be a big deal, and let's make it 4,000. As a matter of fact, I'll be checking with my admin right after this call, trying to see if I can at all get down there, because I think that's important. I think showing up, showing support, one of the best things you can do is just show up. Just show up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pastor Stephen Thomas Martin, folks, find him on social media. One of the great voices of clarity in our nation right now. Yes, I do want to say that they are represented. They immediately reached out to their attorney. They have an excellent attorney, and I believe you'll be hearing from him on Monday. But the more attorneys, the better. Let's get a hold of Jay Sekulow, the American Center for Law and Justice. By the way, the ACLU should be all about this because this is basic civil rights.
Maybe the ADL too. Who knows?
Absolutely. This is not, folks. This is not a Jewish issue. This is not This is an issue of the rule of the Constitution in America and us not ceding ground to terrorist sympathizers. Pro-Hamas thugs force the Nashville hotel to cancel the pro-Israel event. Now, I don't have every single fact. I don't have every single detail. I've repeated that all throughout this broadcast because if there's something incorrect, I'll correct it immediately. But I'm going off of the press release that's been released and off of a conversation that I've had with the organizers. And I do believe that the vast majority of this is accurate, if not all of it. So we need you to get loud. We need you to be reaching out. We need you to do what Amy and Katie and Jamie and all of these incredible leaders are doing. Now, folks, one other thing, I've got to say it. If you can go right now to eagleswings.org/donate and help us, we need your help. We are on the cutting edge front lines of all of this in America, Israel, and the nations. I cannot do this. I cannot keep the lights on, keep everything going without the support of our partners. If you have not yet become a partner of Eagles Wings, if your church is not yet a partner church, please go to eagleswings.org/donate, eagleswings.org/donate. Hopefully I'm still on. My screen is off on Facebook. Did we lose Facebook here?
You're on.
All right, very good. I'm going to hit this right there because I think what happened was, I think we're back on. All right, I lost it here though. So if somebody can get me back here. Instagram, hold on. I'll get you back on in a moment. 1 second, Instagram. I will get you back on Instagram in just a second. But folks, I need you to go eagleswings.org/donate. I'm going to be going on again tomorrow morning as soon as we have more information. We will go on before noon tomorrow. All right. So can you put in how they sign up for the text? How do they sign up for the text? Amy, if you know, can you put it in? How do they sign up for the text, emergency text updates? We want to go. Pastor Joe Green is telling us he's going to join us in Nashville. We love you, Pastor Joe. We thank God for you. Yair Levy, we're going to give you the last word tonight from Jerusalem. Brother, we love you. We are with you. And now this is not a Jewish fight. And it's honestly, it's not even an American fight. This is a human fight. This is
Amen.
a fight for Western values, Western democracy, the Judeo-Christian way of life that holds to absolute truth, but allows people to make choices. Islam, radical Islam, is the religion of absolute submission. And if it's not willing submission, then it's submission by force. It is only the Judeo-Christian worldview that says, going back to the garden, God has his law, God has his way, but God gives humanity free choice. You can follow or not follow. Choose this day. That is the beauty and the power of the Judeo-Christian way of life, where Pastor Stephen Martin says, listen, God has his laws, God has his ways, but the American way is never to force everyone, to forcibly demand that you believe in Jesus, to forcibly demand that you follow a certain theology. That is the theology of radicalized Islam. Radicalized Islam says it is submission, either willingly or dimitude, submission by the sword. And Yair Levy, Israel has flourished as the only functional democracy in the midst of a sea of Islamic dictatorships. And now even the moderate Muslim nations, thank God. Look how Jordan supported Israel against Iran. I mean, that was a major step forward. We're starting to see that happen. Yair Levy, give us the final word from Jerusalem, and then everyone, we will go live tomorrow somewhere before noon. We'll let you know how to do that. Yair Levy, give us your final words.
Something that I understood after October 7, and I think every America need to understand, is that the fact that you live in generation that live in peace and freedom is because that your forefathers or your fathers fought for it. They stand up, they went to protest, they went to fight for your freedom. You know, in Israel, we see now that my father fought in Gaza for me to walk freely in Tel Aviv. And this is what people in America need to understand. This freedom can disappear in a second.
That's right.
People need to go out and stand with people that like this event that they are trying to cancel. They need to stand with us, not because of us. They need to stand with us because it's about them. This is just the beginning, and I'm praying that people will wake up. And I'm so grateful for you, Bishop and Pastor. Thank you so much for supporting and standing with us in this hard moment. And I'm sending you my blessing from Israel. I hope that maybe the spiritual heir of Israel, of the Promised Land, will be a blessing for you to keep doing your amazing work and your to show up again and again on the right side of history, as you said before. So thank you so much. That's what I can tell.
Well, Yair, we're going to see you in Nashville, no matter what, come hell or high water. We're going to see you May 20, 21, 22. We're calling everyone to come to Nashville to stand with them. They're under assault. This is a line in the sand in American history. This is not hyperbole. This is a line in the sand in American history happening in front of our eyes. If in Nashville, the buckle of the Bible Belt, Christians cannot safely gather in a private event that is under contract because the police either cannot or will not protect them, then we have crossed into a nightmare that I cannot imagine. That's what's happening in front of our eyes. Before we sign off, very quickly, can several of you tag Dave Ramsey? Dave has a strong presence in Nashville. He's got a strong voice. Can several of you please quickly tag Dave Ramsey before we sign off? And did we get the phone number, the text number? Is it pinned on? Okay, it's going on momentarily. We're going to wait just a second. Can somebody just give me the number, please? What do they do? Just someone hand it to me, please. All right, it's a link. So they'll get the link up there in just a moment. Yeah, very, very good. Her email address. Yeah, we're going to get all of that for you. We will get everything but honestly, folks, respectfully, you can also just Google it. Just Google Senator Marsha Blackburn or Senator Bill Hagerty, Hagerty. These are the two senators. Governor Bill Lee, or Andy Ogles, 931-777-2140. He is the congressman for that district. And anything we didn't have tonight, we will get for you tomorrow. So we will be going live tomorrow as this story develops. I need your help. I need everybody talking about this. I need you on the phones. I need you texting. Get the link of this and send the link to everybody. You are the voice right now of Mordecai crying out to Esther, saying there's a threat from Hamas. There's a threat from Haman, but God has put you in the kingdom for such a time as this. Raise your voice, get loud. Am Israel Chai, God bless America, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. God bless you. I'll talk to you.